So Reusing the City is a social enterprise that is mapping underused and vacant spaces in towns and cities in order to get an overall picture of the extent of the underuse of a city, to see how efficiently, how inefficiently a city or a town is used, and to put that information out to the public so that citizens can discover the information, share the information, and add to the information.
Reusing the City addresses two main sustainability issues. One is the reuse of space in cities. There's a huge demand in many European cities for space from a range of different groups, from community groups to charities to those who are looking for sites for urban agriculture. Yet these spaces are not available for groups. They cannot access them and they don't know how to access them. So Reusing the City breaks down that barrier between finding out where these spaces are and how to reuse them. Reusing the City also addresses the kind of issue of urban sprawl. As our cities expand out, we are neglecting our urban core, such that we've made huge sites in the city centres of many of our European cities are just not used at all and are being neglected, and people are turning their backs on them. So we see Reusing the City as addressing two of those problems.
We would have identified three main user groups: local authorities, who need to use this app to overcome the major challenges of trying to map underused space, which is the fluidity of the data in that it changes all the time, the scale of the data in that you need huge resources to try and map where these spaces are, and also the accessibility of the data in that it's very difficult to find out what space is vacant. It may not be obvious, it may be hidden. And then also communities use Reusing the City in that it's an opportunity, it gives them a platform to engage with space in the city and to engage with the local authority. And we are finding that citizens are really engaged on the subject of underused spaces. Reusing the City is a startup social enterprise that has grown from an initial pilot project that was a research project within the tourist project called Reusing Dublin. And we're now looking at further research and hoping to set up put together a bid for further European funding, where we would look at the same project essentially that we've looked at in Dublin in other European cities, so that we could understand how to localize the project in those cities and work with partners in those cities who are interested in this type of initiative.
We've just started out with Reusing Dublin, but we've applied for some social innovation funding from Social Innovation Ireland just to update the website and update the app, the mobile app at the moment, just so we can kind of generate more information and more research on the project. We're also hoping to create another side of the SME, which would be a matchmaking service. So as we said, there's an awful lot of different groups, community groups, charities, even private organisations have contacted us looking for space. So we're hoping to add a space finding part to the website, where people that are looking for space can contact us and we can put them in contact with somebody then that has this type of space. So we're working on that kind of initiative at the moment.
So effectively we'd be putting together a marketplace for alternative spaces and alternative users, because a number of the people that have approached us cannot find the spaces they're looking for in the normal market. So we believe there's a sort of gap there.
We'd hope to see Reusing the City in any European or worldwide city that has a problem with underused spaces.
We believe that it is absolutely transferable to almost any town, city or region in Europe, because the issues that we are dealing with in Dublin are common to the entire continent. In every city, in every town, you have underused space, you have vacant sites, and nobody knows exactly where they are, how big they are, and how to do something about them. How do you start to engage with the owners, or how do you start to understand those spaces? So we're very interested in gathering more partners across Europe who are interested in taking this further in a further European research project to understand the differences between the different cities whenever you use Reusing the City as an application, as a website, as a mobile phone app and the social media, So you can localize it in different cities and start to understand the different nuances around data protection, around regulation, but also around how citizens engage on these different media platforms. Because ultimately the powerful thing about Reusing the City is that it's a means for citizens to engage with space and to engage with planning. And what we're finding in Dublin is that the planners and the local authority are very interested in the amount of interest and engagement that we are achieving with Reusing Dublin. And that can be achieved anywhere in Europe.